Welcome back, coin lovers. Today we're diving into the world of dimes, from silver mercury dimes to rare Roosevelt errors. These coins might be small, but some of them are worth hundreds or more. Let's explore which US dimes are truly worth collecting. First up, the 1953 Roosevelt dime is a notable piece of American coinage, both historically and numismatically. Struck in the post-war era, this coin belongs to the silver Roosevelt dime series, which was first introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt shortly after his death in 1945. The 1953 dime is composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, making it valuable not only as a collectible, but also for its intrinsic metal content. The design of the Roosevelt dime, created by John Arsenic, features a left-facing portrait of President Roosevelt on the obverse. Above the portrait is the word liberty, with the phrase "In God We Trust" placed to the left under Roosevelt's chin. The year of mintage, in this case, 1953, appears at the bottom right of the obverse. The reverse design showcases a torch in the center, symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch representing peace and an oak branch signifying strength. The words United States of America circle the top, while one dime is positioned at the bottom, with a pluribus unum across the middle. The specific condition of this 1953 dime is described as having a light black shade, which usually indicates toning, dirt accumulation, or light surface oxidation due to long-term circulation or improper storage. While this doesn't typically affect the structural integrity of the coin, it can influence collector interest depending on how attractive or distracting the toning is. Some collectors appreciate natural toning for its unique appearance and authenticity, while others prefer brighter, unblemished silver surfaces. This coin was minted in 3 locations in 1953: Philadelphia No Mint Mark, Denver D, and San Francisco S. The coin in question does not mention a mint mark, so it's likely from the Philadelphia Mint. That year, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 129 million dimes, making the coin relatively common in the broader scope of Roosevelt dime production. However, finding examples in good or better condition, with original surfaces and minimal wear, becomes more difficult each passing year. The value of a 1953 Roosevelt dime in circulated condition, especially with some toning or black shade, is typically based on its silver content, which as of recent silver prices, places it around $1 to $2. However, collectors sometimes pay a premium for better eye appeal, rarity of strike, or sentimental interest. Dimes in uncirculated or proved condition can command higher prices, especially those with full torch details or brilliant, untoned surfaces. What makes the 1953 dime special is its place in the early years of the Roosevelt series. This was a time when Americans were recovering from the impacts of World War II and entering an era of rapid economic and technological growth. The Roosevelt dime replaced the mercury dime, which was highly artistic but seen as less fitting for a tribute to a modern president. Roosevelt's image on the dime was not only a way to honor his leadership, but also a reminder of his role in founding the March of Dimes, a campaign to combat polio, a disease he himself had battled. Coins like the 1953 dime provide a tangible connection to American history. They were used by millions for everyday purchases and represent an era before the removal of silver from circulating U.S. coinage. The black shading seen on some older silver coins is a testament to their age and use, often forming as the metal reacts with their moisture or contact with other surfaces over time. For collectors or enthusiasts, owning a 1953 dime, any condition is an opportunity to hold a real piece of mid-20th century America. While not rare in the strictest sense, it holds value in the context of silver composition, historical representation, and the enduring appeal of Roosevelt's legacy. Many collectors aim to gather every year and mint mark of the Roosevelt dime series, and the 1953 issue is an essential component of that journey. In conclusion, the 1953 Roosevelt dime with light black shading is a coin that, while modest in market value, holds significant historical and collectible worth. Its age, silver content, and connection to a pivotal moment in American history make it an interesting and worthwhile piece for any collector or history enthusiast. Next up we have the 1977 Roosevelt Dime is a modern era coin that is part of the ongoing series featuring President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Minted after the transition away from silver in U.S. dimes, the 1977 dime is made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, rather than the 90% silver seen in dimes minted before 1965. Your coin from 1977, noted to have a green-shaded condition, is an interesting example due to its environmental wear, which often signals long-term exposure to moisture or certain chemical reactions. The green shading observed on your 1977 dime is most likely due to oxidation or the formation of verdigris, a greenish deposit that forms on copper and its alloys due to prolonged exposure to air and moisture. This is especially common in clad coins, as the core of these dimes is made of copper, which can react over time if the protective nickel coating is compromised or thin in areas. Green toning or spotting can also result from improper storage, such as being kept in PVC-based plastic holders, humid environments, or areas with acidic materials. From a collector's perspective, the value of a 1977 dime in circulated condition, even without discoloration, is typically only its face value of 10 cents. This is because billions of these coins were minted, and they are readily available in circulation today. Specifically, in 1977, the Philadelphia Mint Mark produced over 356 million dimes, while the Denver Mint Mark D produced over 377 million. The coin is common, and unless it exhibits an error or is in pristine uncirculated condition, it is not rare or particularly valuable. However, that does not make your coin without interest. Some collectors are intrigued by the effects of time and the environment on coins. Green patina, while usually considered damage, can sometimes create unique and appealing visual textures. That said, most numismatists prefer coins with clean, original surfaces and will not pay a premium for green-toned examples unless the coloration is part of a dramatic and rare natural toning pattern. Cleaning coins with green toning is strongly discouraged. Attempting to remove the discoloration, especially with harsh chemicals or abrasives, can permanently damage the surface and reduce any collectible appeal the coin might have. The best approach is to leave the coin as is or consult a professional conservation service if you believe the coin has special value beyond face value. Despite its minimal market value, the 1977 dime still represents a piece of everyday American history. It's part of a series that honors a president who left a lasting impact on the country, especially in his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. The Roosevelt Dime is also significant because it was the first U.S. coin to feature a president who was not George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, or Abraham Lincoln at the time of its introduction in 1946. In practical terms, your 1977 green-shaded dime may not hold significant collector value, but it can still be an educational or sentimental item. It can be part of a teaching collection for young numismatists or included in a typeset showing the wear and changes that coins can undergo through circulation and environmental exposure. To summarize, the 1977 Roosevelt Dime in green-shaded, circulated condition is a common coin with minimal monetary value, yet it provides a glimpse into the longevity and resilience of American coinage. Its discoloration, while not adding financial value, may add uniqueness to your collection, especially when grouped with other naturally toned or environmentally affected coins. If you're building a complete date and mint mark set or showcasing coin variations due to age and exposure, this dime can still play a meaningful role. Next up we have the 1960 D Roosevelt Dime is a silver coin minted during the final decade of 90% silver dimes in the United States. It represents an era in American coinage when silver was still a standard component of circulating coins, and as such, It holds both historical and intrinsic value. Your coin, dated 1962 and struck at the Denver Mint denoted by the D Mint mark, comes with a noted condition details some black shading which may affect its appearance, but not necessarily its value, depending on the severity and cause. 2. Understand the full context of your 1960 to D Roosevelt dime. It helps to look at the coin's background. The Roosevelt dime was introduced in 1946, shortly after the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who played a key role in the establishment of the March of Dimes, a campaign aimed at fighting polio. His portrait replaced the beloved winged Liberty Head design commonly known as the Mercury dime, symbolizing both a new era and honoring his legacy. The 1960 to D dime was struck at the Denver Mint with a mintage of over 330 per million coins, making it one of the more common silver Roosevelt dimes. Like all dimes minted before 1965, it is composed of 90% silver and 10% copper. This gives the coin a melt value based on the current price of silver, which is typically higher than its face value as of recent silver prices. A 1960 to D Roosevelt dime average circulated condition is worth around $2 to $3 just for its silver content. When considering collector value, condition plays a critical role. Coins are graded on a scale that ranges from poor to mint state, with more detailed grading for mint state coins MS60 to MS70. A coin in circulated condition with some black shading would likely fall in the lower circulated grades unless the toning is minimal and the coin otherwise has strong detail and little wear. Black shading can result from several factors including oxidation, environmental exposure, or the coin being stored in less than ideal conditions for many years. If the dark coloration is due to natural toning and not damage or corrosion, it might even be considered desirable by some collectors, particularly if it creates a visually appealing patina. However, in most cases, black shading is seen as a negative unless the coin has otherwise exceptional qualities. If the shading is blotchy, uneven, or accompanied by surface damage, it may decrease the coin's eye appeal and collector interest. On the other hand, if the toning is uniform and subtle, it may be tolerated or even appreciated by certain buyers. If you are looking to sell or evaluate the coin further, having it cleaned is not recommended, as cleaning silver coins, especially with chemicals or abrasives, can permanently lower their numismatic value. Collectors prefer original surfaces, even if they are toned or darkened. For those building a collection of silver Roosevelt dimes, a 1960 to D is an essential piece. It fills one of the final slots before the transition to clad coinage in 1965. Collectors often seek full sets of Roosevelt dimes by date and mint mark, and most aim for higher grade examples. Still, a circulated 1960 to D with some toning can be an affordable entry-level coin for new collectors or an excellent source of silver content for bullion investors. In conclusion, your 1960 to D Roosevelt dime is a collectible piece of mid-20th century U.S. coinage that carries both historical and intrinsic value. While its common mintage and circulated condition with black shading may not make it a high-value numismatic treasure, it is still worth more than its face value thanks to its silver composition. It represents an important time in American history and coin production, and if preserved properly, it can be part of a meaningful collection or a piece of tangible silver investment. If you are curious about its exact grade or value, you may consider having it examined by a professional coin dealer or grading service. Next up we have the 1970 for Roosevelt 1 dime with an error, specifically described as having a deep cut on the front side, presents a fascinating case for collectors interested in mint errors or damaged coins. To fully understand the significance and value of this coin, it's important to examine the Roosevelt Dime series, the typical 1970 for issue, and how an error like a deep cut affects its collectability. The Roosevelt Dime has been in continuous production since 1946, replacing the Mercury Dime as the standard 10-cent coin of the United States. Designed by chief engraver John Arsenic, the coin features a left-facing portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse, with the words "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the minting year, in this case, 1974. The reverse features a torch symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch representing peace and an oak branch representing strength, along with the inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, and 1 dime. In 1974, the U.S. Mint produced Roosevelt dimes at 3 locations: Philadelphia No Mint Mark, Denver D, and San Francisco S, primarily for proof coins. Hundreds of millions were minted, making the standard 1970 for dime common. However, when a coin shows unusual characteristics such as a deep cut or gouge on the obverse, the discussion turns to whether it is a genuine mint error or post-mint damage. Deep cut on the front side especially if it's sharp, jagged, or prominently indented, might be interpreted into primary ways. First, it could be post-mint damage meaning the coin was scratched, gouged, or struck by another object after it left the mint. Post-mint damage does not increase a coin's value and often lowers it, as collectors typically look for coins in good, original condition. These damaged coins are usually only worth face value unless there is an artistic or novelty appeal. On the other hand, if the cut occurred during the minting process, it may be classified as mint error ***. True error coins are collectible, especially when the error is unusual, dramatic, or rare. Types of mint errors include die cracks, struck-through errors, off-center strikes, clipped plankets, and more. If the deep cut on your coin was caused by something like a struck-through object such as a piece of wire or debris during minting, or if there was a significant die break or flaw, then it could be considered an authentic error coin. To confirm a genuine mint error, the coin should be examined by a professional numismatist or sent to a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. These services provide authentication and grading, which help determine the exact nature of the damage and establish a market value. If certified as an error, the value of a 1970 for Roosevelt dime could increase, especially among collectors who specialize in mint errors. Depending on the type and rarity of the error, such a coin could be worth a few dollars to several $100s. In exceptional cases, error coins with visible and dramatic features tend to attract attention, especially when the mistake is evident without magnification. Collectors appreciate coins that tell a story of the minting process gone awry, and dramatic flaws like a deep gouge or misstrike often fit that interest. However, the market value always depends on demand, certification, and how well the error is preserved. In circulated condition with a deep cut on the front, your 1970 for Roosevelt dime might not hold significant value unless the cut is verified as a mint error. If it is just post-mint damage, then it remains a fascinating coin to examine, but without premium worth. Regardless, coins like these serve as excellent conversation pieces and educational tools, offering a glimpse into either the minting process or the life and environment the coin has passed through. In summary, your 1970 for Roosevelt dime with a deep cut on the front side is either an interesting example of post-mint wear or potentially a valuable mint error. To determine its true status and value, professional authentication is key. Whether valuable or not, it represents another piece in the long history of American coinage, and for many collectors, that alone makes it worth preserving. Next up we have the 1997 Roosevelt 1 dime is a modern coin issued by the United States Mint as part of the ongoing Roosevelt Dime series, which has been in production since 1946. These dimes feature the profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse front side, a design that honors his leadership and the role he played in founding the March of Dimes. The reverse side displays a torch flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, representing liberty, peace, and strength. Your specific coin is from the year 1997 and has been described as having a black shade on the front side, which typically indicates environmental wear, tarnish, or chemical exposure over time. Coins like the 1997 dime are composed of a copper core clad in a layer of nickel. This copper-nickel combination is durable and was specifically chosen to withstand the rigors of circulation without easily corroding. However, over years of use, or if improperly stored, these coins can still become discolored. The black shading on the front of your coin is most likely the result of oxidation, environmental exposure, or possibly long-term contact with certain materials that caused chemical reactions on the coin's surface. Moisture, heat, and certain types of plastic coin holders can sometimes cause coins to develop dark or blackened areas, especially on the raised surfaces like Roosevelt's portrait. In terms of rarity or collector interest, the 1997 dime is considered common. The US Mint produced hundreds of millions of them that year, over 1.2 billion from the Philadelphia and Denver mints combined. Because of this high mintage, most circulated examples hold no additional collector value and are generally only worth face value 10 cents unless they are in uncirculated or proof condition or display a rare mint error. However, some error coins from this era can fetch interest from collectors. These might include off-center strikes, die cracks, double dies, or other minting anomalies. If your 1997 dime has a black shade that appears to be part of a striking error, or if it's combined with any visible mechanical flaws, it might be worth having a professional numismatist take a closer look. Otherwise, discoloration alone typically does not increase a coin's value and may even reduce interest among collectors who seek coins with original luster and minimal wear. Cleaning the coin to remove the black shading is not recommended. Scrubbing or using cleaning agents can permanently damage the surface and eliminate any natural toning or remaining details. Even though this particular coin is common, cleaning it would not add value and could even make it less desirable too. Anyone collecting for educational or visual purposes, while the coin may not be rare or especially valuable in a monetary sense, it can still be an interesting item for a casual collector or for someone assembling a complete date set of Roosevelt dimes. Coins like this help illustrate the way circulating money changes over time and what effects long-term exposure can have. It also serves as a tangible connection to the late 1990s, a time when the US economy was strong and coin production was high. For those starting a coin collection or teaching young collectors, a 1997 Roosevelt dime with black toning can be a great example of circulation, wear, and environmental effects. It highlights how different coins age and how metals react under various conditions. Building a collection of coins from all 50 states or from each year of the Roosevelt Dime series can be a fun and rewarding hobby, and your 1997 dime could be one piece in a much larger puzzle. In summary, the 1997 Roosevelt dime with black shading on the front is a common circulated coin with little to no market value beyond face value, unless it happens to be a rare mint error. The discoloration likely resulted from environmental exposure or age-related oxidation and should not be cleaned. While not a high-value coin, it still holds educational and historical value and can be a useful part of a larger collection that tells the story of American coinage through the decades.